All right, guys. So, final series in the group stage of silver. There will still be the silver playoffs. And right now, the odds are that both Ozone and Combito will end up in the silver playoffs. If this result is a 2-1 on either side, then it will be second place for Ozone. Then it will be, second place for Combito. And it will be third place for Ozone. And they will go into a best of 7 playoff to get to gold. Now, if Combito sweeps 3-0, he will steal first place from Say My Name, and Say My Name will fall into second. If Ozone sweeps, wins 3-0, he will pass Combito, and he will go into the second place position in the playoff. So, no danger of getting relegated here. Still the $10 per win. Overall, I'd say there's a lot less pressure, but it really just comes down to how the series begins. I think Combito will be feeling like his chances are very good against Ozone because the last time they played each other, he won 3-0 in a best of 5. So he's got the 3-0 before. Combito goes for Sicilians here. On this map, we've seen a lot of infantry, and so pretty clearly, I think the game plan is to build a donjon out here, and or a donjon really anywhere, but most likely on the fish to protect it and make sergeants. I think for Ozone, we've seen a lot of Burgundian Flemish militia, so he also wants infantry. So both infantry units these players might go for they'd have to be in feudal age to produce. Like the difference obviously for Ozone is he just needs the barracks. So I think that's okay for the Burgundians. Because it's always a weakness when you're up against man-at-arms. You have to wait till feudal to make the Flemish militia. But, I mean, here, the Sicilian player needs to wait to make the sergeants as well. They both have the UX in front of their name because it's a new clan. And I actually don't know the full name of it, which is a little embarrassing. It's new. I believe it is a rebranded. There was a team called Combi who had a sponsor. Maybe chat could help me out there. I think basically they've rebranded. It's no longer Combi. Yeah, Uxmal Esports. Okay, is it Uxmal or Uxmal? I wonder. Anyways, it's I have a couple South American players or Latin American players on their team, and both these two are new teammates. So they haven't been teammates for a very long time. Shout out to the llamas. Llama guys on YouTube. Llama gals on YouTube. I know you like your llamas there. Llama just scouting around. That is, of course, not important at all. But they've both gone for the same build so far. Scouts are moving forward at pretty much the exact same time. These players are very, very good. And if I had to describe the difference, there's honestly not that much of a difference. I think Ozone always likes to play through army control. And he very rarely is able to recover if he isn't continually controlling the game. Like, make one army, force a switch from the opponent. Make another army, force a switch from the opponent. Combito, I find, can recover a bit more if he loses that control, and sometimes he will give that up too. Sometimes he can be very passive. But Combito is really improved. I think 2 years ago, he wasn't even on my radar. So he's gotten very good very quickly. Plays a lot of games. Ozone has had some good performances. Ozone was someone I thought maybe would be top 20 2 or 3 years ago. But like I said earlier, sometimes players hit a little bit of a wall and see how fast Combito is. I mean, that's insane speed for Dark Age. Peaking in his Dark Age is faster than my Imperial Age, which is a little sad to say, but and we'll see if that translates into the fights here. So Shorefish, very easy investment to get here. One investment of the mill with 100 wood gives you access to, in this case, what is that? 5, 6 fish, over 1,000 food that comes in very quickly. There's the donjon now for Combito. Everything we expected so far. You can build the donjon in Dark Age. It will only fire arrows once you make it to feudal, but once he's in feudal, of course, he can make the sergeants. What will be kind of tough here is building multiple donjons because there's no stone in the middle. So if the plan is to use the sergeants to build more donjons, that's extremely difficult. I guess there is stone out here, but Fruit says, T90, you've been streaming a lot the last few days. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Is that a problem? Do you want me to leave? I can leave. You're right. It has been long days. This series isn't that important. It's just the last play all 3 in 10K Silver League. With the potential for Combito to get first place and Ozone to switch his playoff position so he can avoid his practice partner Blue in the best of 7. It's not that important. We don't need it, right? No, I appreciate it. Okay, good. Good. Because I wasn't going anywhere. So here come the sergeants. We've got the unique infantry units out here. I feel like my left arm would get extremely exhausted over time here. He's probably got quite the bicep here, but here he comes walking through. He is on stone. And the first sergeant actually is onto the wood line already. And so the sergeants get here faster than the Flemish militia do. Pretty sure there's also a hole there. On the backside, the Flemish militia from Ozone, I think this is where he was looking. He almost kills that scout, which would be a nice find. But just wondering, will we see a donjon on the front now? It's going to be archers for Ozone. I think sergeants are just way better than the Flemish militia early, so I think the idea from Ozone to make archers with the Flemish militia makes a lot of sense here. The sergeants are backing up. Sergeants might just want to come to the hill and build a donjon here. It's risky, but for now, there's no pressure at your base. I think Ozone might want some counterattacking with the Flemish militia. If Combito wanted a donjon forward, he could have gone for it, but now he's building the defensive donjon. You know what city Ozone is from? I do, but I don't know if it's my place to tell you what cities people are from. I don't know. I guess... I guess maybe it's not too crazy, not too weird, but... He's from Colombia. Where is Don Cabron from? He's from Argentina. I know that about Don Cabron. Yeah, so Combito has simply forced a lot of reactions here, and Ozone getting housed a little bit. Sergeants just command so much respect. More quick walls will be needed here for Ozone. He doesn't get the quick walls in, and the sergeants are through. Needs another quick wall this way, which he'll get. But man, are these sergeants annoying. And now Ozone's counterattack took some time. He'll be over here. Sergeants are through again. But Ozone does drop a gate, and Ozone does have the archers here. And he did just get fletching, so I think he's trapped these sergeants. This is a nice find for Ozone. Hasn't lost any units yet. That's confidence from Combito to think that he could just build the small palisade walls. Usually players can get punished, and oh man, he didn't fully build the walls, so he didn't have the time to react. And so villagers exposed. The sergeants are going down to the archers. There are skirmishers here too, but nice start for Ozone. 4-0 KD for Ozone. Make it 6-0, make it 7-0. Damn. Honestly, it felt like the sergeants were really holding the game there for a while. I thought Combito was going to build a donjon with them. And if he built the donjon on the front, I'm not really sure exactly what Ozone would have done. But taking Combito off of stone means he can't make more donjons. And, yeah, pretty clean start for Ozone. He's not spending any food. So, Castle Age could be coming in quickly with the amount of villagers on the shorefish. And no easy way for Combito to counterattack right now. I mean, you just... Usually with skirm play, you're just defending. If you're exposed here, you might need your skirms there. It'd be worst case scenario to move out. And then archers just show up to your base. So I think it's very likely Combito just sits back. Yeah, so what's the schedule right now? We have this series, last one of the day. Tomorrow, Platinum kicks off again, round 3. Nice snipe here from Ozone. And then we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all plat. And then I think we do final round of gold starting on Tuesday, right? And then we do that for a couple days before we move into gold and silver playoffs. And it's technically a little bit of a break from Plat League. And then we get back into Platinum and we finish it out. Finish the last 2 weeks. Move directly into the playoffs for Platinum. I'm basically summing up a month of content, by the way. Oh, sneaky from Ozone. Ozone on the outside, on the way to Castle Age. Very clean start. He's on the stone. And his game plan is to play into a castle, which I love here. I think the blacksmith was a little late for Combito. Honestly, it's just one of those games. The eco's similar, but it's just one of those games that comes down to the army investment, right? Very nice trades from Ozone. 9-1 KD. Still can change, go either direction, but I feel like you pick the Sicilians for the Donjons and for the Sergeants, and the fact that hasn't worked isn't a really good sign for the Mexican. Sarcasm says, I just joined. What are the blue squares in the ring around the map? Fish. Fish, or technically turtles, but basically food. And villagers on fish is way faster than villagers on farms. And one farm is 60 wood, and one mill is 100, and you're surrounded by fish everywhere, right? So this is what's going to dominate the food eco here. I like the details from Ozone. Preemptively building a stable. Oh, he's actually going 2. So that surprises me. I thought it would be 1 stable for husbandry, and then he would just maybe build the castle. I think I would maybe prefer that, but if you have the stables, you can still make some knights, and knights are certainly going to be helpful. And Ozone, back again. Wants his revenge for getting swept in the bronze bracket. Nice fight. Snipes a villager. Unfortunately, his Flemish militia are mostly dead before he hits the next stage. And he might end up losing his archers, but I think that's still worth it. This gives you some time. And like we said, it gives you control. Combito has to react to this, has to chase this. Allows Ozone to expand his eco behind this. I think he wants a town center here. Otherwise, that's a weird misclick. And doing what he can to save the archers right now. I think Ozone needs to just accept that these archers are going to die. Don't be too attached to your army here, because you need your economy. Town center's still not up. Castle's still not up. Knights are going to be on the way, though. And knights are going to be over here, where Combito doesn't have an army yet. Combito also built a monastery, or started to, and then canceled it. So he decides against the monks, which he's really going to need right now. Ozone's losing his archers. The knights, if they were to dive here, can get kills, but he's macroing a little bit. He's adding the farms, dropping the town centers, and now he goes back to the knights. I see Blue is in chat. Blue, how are you feeling about having to potentially play Ozone in the playoffs? I think you guys are practice partners, right? You're probably hoping Ozone wins 3-0, so then you can play Combito in the playoffs instead. I mean, from what I know about some of these players, they have multiple practice partners. Some cases, they'll play with like 6 to 8 different players, so it's kind of hard to avoid running into a practice partner, but yeah, it would be bad for you if Ozone doesn't get the sweep. Yeah, exactly. Ozone's playing amazing right now. He's playing really good. Ken on YouTube says, too bad T90 will never read the comments on YouTube. Yeah, I know. That sucks, right? So disappointing. I would never, ever read the comments there. If only I did. The Cavalier choice ended up being a nice move because had he waited for the castle, it would have taken so much more time to get the pressure. So, Cavalier's nice. Eco upgrades are looking good. He is transitioning into farms instead of the shorefish. Obviously, the shorefish are faster, but they're very exposed, and eventually Combito might get a bit of a raid going, but this is where Ozone thrives. Just running around the map with mobile units. There, he'll dive for a monk. Oh, Combito doesn't get the conversion either, which he's very unlucky with. And, I just think you need to keep this whole flow of the game. Some small details you can do here is send the weak units back to heal up. But when your opponent's chasing you with slow infantry units and you're just hoovering around the base, as the quote goes, it's a dream. Maybe a castle in a position, if you were to get counterattacked, that could be solid. I think a castle right here is really underrated on this map. Because there's a lot of wood lines there. It's right between player bases. Everyone forgets about this because everyone focuses on expanding to the outside. Ozone. Yep, still looping around. Probably needs to stop making Cavalier now. I think the numbers of monks that Combito's getting to is pretty dangerous. Props to Combito, by the way. He's been under constant pressure. Vil count is even. But, yeah, and I think with a couple conversions, maybe it can swing some fights. Would love to see light cap from Ozone. Instead, it seems like he just wants to kill the monks. And he loses 2 to conversions. If he can kill that monk, I think I'm okay with it. But the monk can hide inside the TC. And monks are still going to be out there for Combito. Units are getting pretty weak right now for Ozone. Quick look back at the economy. The eco upgrades are perfect. The farm count's looking good. There's not nearly as much on food for Combito. At least when it comes to farms. There's 12 farms against 16. It's not that big a deal. But now there's enough for a castle for Ozone. More armies coming this way. Ozone doesn't have any monks of his own, so the Cavalier can just instantly counterattack. I'm curious. I feel like this is now the state of the game where if Combito gets some counter pressure in, Ozone could start to make some mistakes. It's been all Ozone this game, but if a couple units start to go down, maybe he overextends and loses this army. Yeah, now Ozone needs to chase for once. The monks are waiting. All that army's together, plus there's the donjon, and that's a lot of very weak units there. So Ozone backs up. Still no castle spot for Ozone. He does have more units patrolling around back here, though. Good work. He just located where the monks were, and now he goes to the other side. It's perfect. That's really good job from Ozone. Buddy's been spotted down here. We'll lose a couple vills himself. Combito has more villagers. I'm telling you, man, like, he can just survive. For Ozone, it's all about this early pressure. I don't know how this fight goes. It's awfully tough to get in there and kill the monks, and the sergeants are okay against some weak units. I think if Combito wins this fight, he'll be very satisfied with that. There's still the fight on the backside where monks are getting conversions and units are going down. Combito will kind of deal with that. And Combito still has some units over here. 86 villagers for Combito, 73 for Ozone. Ozone's whole army went down. Still think he likes the control, but I think you need to switch gears a little bit. Start to think about him. Your opponent's mainly going monks. Making Cavalier into monks, even if you have devotion, doesn't feel like the wisest move for me. I'd like to see light cav instead. It's cheaper. They have the conversion resistance. Holy town centers from Ozone, though. My God, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this my uncle? It can't be my uncle. There's a little too much raiding in the castle age. If it was Unk, he would probably have not made a single military unit yet. And he would have a castle on the front of his base. Keep things nice and protected. And he would probably panic ever so slightly more if he gets attacked. But who cares about that? Panic is normal. Ozone comes in again. And wow, that was a super fast conversion. I think that conversion was like preloaded on the villager. And he's still making army, guys. Still making Cavalier. He refuses to stop. That's what it is, though, right? He's spending so much food on Cav that he doesn't have the food to also produce vills out of all these town centers. Relics should start coming in. Outposts are starting to get built. Honestly, the monks are the biggest thing right now. Ozone is going full army play. He wants a forward castle. If the conversions come in, though, for Combito, it completely swings the game. But devotion helps, and devotion definitely pays off for itself there. That's honestly best case scenario for Combito. The fact that he got that many conversions is a bit fortunate. But Ozone, bro, are we really dropping a castle with... Oh, well, we're not dropping a castle anymore because Combito saw the vills. But it's all part of Ozone's plan. It was foolish to drop a castle with 3 villagers. Now he's baited his opponent into dropping a castle that he can deny. He's dropping his own castle behind with even more. Big brain masterclass from Ozone. Combito thought he had to drop the castle there, and Combito drops the G, and Ozone wins the game. Yeah, I mean, Combito just couldn't get any offensive pressure. Ozone just kept flying in. And so with that, that confirms in the group that Say My Name will be first place. What we could have is we could have Ozone going to second place if he wins the next 2 games. For Combito, the only thing about the next 2 games is your pride and $10 per win. It does not change who you face in the playoffs now. So, well, actually, no, that's not actually true. That's not actually true. The games do matter depending on who he wants to face in the playoffs, because you kind of know how things are going to go at the bracket. So we'll see. But yeah, congrats to Say My Name. I don't know if he's in chat, but Say My Name will be in Gold League with that result at least. The reason Combito resigned there is because all that ever happened in that game was he lost Vills. He barely did any counter damage. He lost all of his monks. He lost a bunch of Vills. He drops the castle. By the way, on the G situation, I can double check and see if maybe there was a follow-up GG. Okay, calm down, everybody. Capture Age didn't pick it up, but he said GG after the G. He meant to say GG. Calm down. Right now, if Ozone wins 3-0, he would change his playoff position and move into second place in the group. But beyond that, if Combito were to get a win over the next 2 games, they would stay Combito second place and Ozone third place. What Ozone just did was he gave Say My Name a massive favor, and Say My Name is confirmed first. And the near 40-year-old from Vietnam, who barely plays 1v1s, who mainly just plays team games for fun, who I don't think practices, and I don't think puts in the work that some of these younger players do, he continues to be a beast in Age of Empires 2. It's a really fun story. It's a really fun story. What's the saying? Like, form is temporary, class is permanent, right? Was it? Do you guys remember the, there was a player who was drunk and beat someone in a qualifier. Which player was that? I don't think it was it Say My Name? It was a really funny story. He like reverse swept him or something. It was a Vietnamese player. It was not me, no. It was definitely a Vietnamese player. They were going to go, I think it was Say My Name. Because whatever it was in the next round, they were going to face ACCM. And ACCM's like the king of Vietnam, right? And no one thinks they can beat him. So they went out the like evening before and they got like super drunk and had like 10 beers and came home and played. I think it was Say My Name. And so anyways, whoever it was, I have to look it up. It's a best of 5. They lose the first 2 games. And then they just start doing chaotic stuff. Just chaotic things. And they start pulling it back and they reverse swept this guy. I think they reverse swept Overtaken or something. Yeah, they hit that level. I think they were probably too drunk, and then they just hit that level where everything clicked and everything made sense and there was no pressure. And then the other guy was probably all hyped up on caffeine and got like way too nervous and started getting jittery. It was super funny. I'd have to look it up. Combito drops the dock on the back, has the early fishing ship numbers. The beauty of the Lithuanians here is you don't need to have much on food at the start, especially on this map, because you start with the fishing ship. So that's enough food income for villager production. So they'll max out the amount on wood for nonstop fishing ship production and delay their elephants. And Combito will bring in the elephants a little bit earlier here. So you're saying drink your problems away? No, I clarified in the cast that I'm not advocating for, you know, for getting smashed. And I also clarified that, you know, it is not good for your health. I added all the disclaimers. It was not an advertisement. And then there was still some guy who got really upset. Like, really, really upset. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is so bad. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, come on, man. It's just a game. I found out I wasn't the one who was drunk. I found out he was drunk. I'm just the caster here. I guess I got a little one guide there, but anyways, it's crazy the things that stick with you. It's really ridiculous. Obviously, the feedback can be awesome sometimes, but then sometimes certain messages just live in your head forever, right? And it's not the majority. It's the minority that could sometimes stick with you. It's wild. But I'm still wondering what Ozone's plan is here. The Wu most likely would go for the water approach. They have really good early water bonuses. Also good for a man-at-arm opening. We have seen a lot of fast castling on in Silver League, so my guess right now is that Ozone is going to try that. But as I say that, the villagers headed off this way. That could be, okay, just for a lumber camp. It still doesn't really tell us too much. He's one dock versus one dock. Definitely feels like fast castle from both, though. And in Combito's case, he's got a lot more water buffalo walking around. There's a rhino here, and there's an elephant here. Maybe Ozone plays water, actually. Yeah, Ozone could get this elephant, but I think it's really bad for Ozone he doesn't have any buffalo underneath his TC. Combito's bringing a lot back. He'll have 5 buffalo with the elephants. It definitely feels like it'll be 2 docks from Ozone now. And maybe it's forward docks, actually. He knows, roughly speaking, where Combito's TC is. Yeah, this feels like double forward dock to me. Interesting. So he wants to build the docks directly on Combito so he can surround and kill the fish as quickly as possible. This is something Dragonstar did. But when Dragonstar did it, Vivi also did it. And so they both went forward docks on the other's dock. It was super funny. So this is, yeah, the first time that I've seen someone do it against a different strat. T90, I just went and looked, and it was Say My Name Who Played Drunk. It's so funny, dude. It's just so wild to me. How long he's been around and how good he is. Yeah, so this should be double dock. This is a really nice build from Ozone. I don't know if it's enough to work, but it would otherwise take a lot longer to end up killing the fish. Ideally, the docks would have been completed already. So maybe he needed to math it out a little and get the villagers further forward, but he will make a fire from the dock at home. He will then start to make fires from the docks in the front. And this is probably fast castle John Swordsman for Combito. So if he loses the fish, he's going to have the food, right? So to me, this feels like his plan is to contest on water a little bit. When you shift this much to wood and that much to gold, and not having as much on food, I feel like he wants fire ships. Yeah, and there's the 3rd dock. And there's even going to be a 4th dock. So he knows that some pressure's coming. He just doesn't know from where. Yeah, Rooster, you leave the food rotting underneath the TC because that 200 food is not as valuable as the thousands of food on the fish. And you need your build order to protect your fish, essentially. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like with this much food underneath the TC, I would not try and immediately pivot into water here. But it could be fast castle still into water. It doesn't have to be fast castle land. It could be fast castle water. We now have a pause here. That is that a hotkey situation? Because Combito just queued up galleys? And he didn't mean to, or what? Remember, players had to backdate their patch. The new patch came out 2 days ago. We are on the old patch now. And with the new patch, they brought in new stuff to the game. And so that has overwritten some hotkeys. We, of course, notify players, double check your hotkeys, but I've been around long enough to know there's always going to be a hotkey that pops up they didn't think about. So I'm guessing he meant to queue fires instead of the galleys or something. Yes. Sec hotkeys. Galleys get canceled. Fire galleys. Yup. Called it. Called it. He did not want those galleys, so that wastes a couple seconds. Fishing ships are going down already, though. And, it's kind of funny. Ozone will know as well. Like, if there's a hotkey pause, he absolutely knows that there's a situation with his water hotkeys. I mean, you would assume that that's going to be the case, but he hasn't seen the amount of docks yet. And so far, Ozone has found reward for this build. There's a lot of fires flooding. Behind this, Ozone has apparently brought in an elephant. He's finding some buffaloes. It's very clean eco. And honestly, Combito's under a lot of pressure here. And again, like, realistically, maybe you lose a little bit of fight. I just don't know. But, like, he's always going to playoffs regardless of how this goes. Those thoughts could start to creep into your mind, especially if you're a younger, less experienced player. Maybe you get frustrated. You might just be like, I might be dead here. And honestly, I think he might be dead here because he's chosen to play water against a build that's just faster with it. If Combito wasn't up against forward docks, he would have had the time. But the forward docks have been amazing. And also, Ozone's fishing ships are still behind here too. So he's added fish. It's not like he has a weak economy right now. It's just nonstop pressure. That should be a kill for Ozone. But it's evening out. He'll lose some fires. He can't really escape now. And yeah, maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself. Feels like the numbers are looking good for Combito. He still has the food underneath the TC. He could still reach Castle Age at a decent time. We do, however, have archers for Ozone, which is something that Combito is not ready to deal with right now. And Combito still could be pressured on water. Yeah, this dock position is really sick. Ozone's villager gets roasted there, but if you hold a demo in there and one big boom, and then you can pop back out with more fires. Super difficult to focus on the archers at the same time. If Ozone could have the archers on the woodline at the exact same time, he's got a window. Boom! But he's focused there. Big demo. Combito backs away, and he's going to focus here with a demo as well. The pathing is really awkward in these situations. But ideally, you're able to hit the villager. Villager comes forward to repair for Ozone. Good micro from Combito. Really nice job. And still no demo there from Ozone. And there are the archers. But if Combito can click up, I think he's missing his second building now. He needs a market or a blacksmith. And he didn't go for a mill, so he can't go for the market. But if Combito clicks up, this could be really good with Jean Swordsman. Okay, this is what you do. You hop out with one fire. You bait all the fires onto it, and then you hit with the demo. Okay, that actually was horrible, because he used two demos on the same two ships. That's not what you want. But the idea is there, chat. I'm just trying to teach you. Ooh. Combito got a fire all the way over here. But that probably won't lead to too many kills, and now Ozone is back again. The tower is forced from Combito to keep his woodline safe. He is finally on the way to Castle Age. I think Combito will probably take this dock down. There's a big demo coming in here from Ozone. If he can land this demo, this could swing the water fights his way again. His fish are looking pretty inefficient at the moment. And he's not on the way to Castle Age, so... I definitely think Combito's position is a bit stronger here. God, but that... Oh, that's so... Chat, you just don't know. In a tournament, when that happens to you, it's just... Let's just say if your mic was enabled... If your mic was auto-enabled, because, I don't know, maybe like a decision from Microsoft or something, not that they would ever do that, your enemy would just hear you go, oh, like, come on, dude. Look away for a second, the demo. Just pain. I have to question the stable choice, but I guess a couple scouts and Hey Guang is not awful here. And scouts have more viability against monks and whatnot later on. So I think Ozone needs to realize, okay, he just canceled, just as I was about to show you. He needs to realize he can click to Castle Age. But that Castle Age timing difference is pretty significant here. And that scout will easily kill that archer. It'll probably kill this archer as well. I think we just missed a demo from Ozone, but there is a lot of fire ships for Combito. He's got so many. And so he's got the fires. Archers did very little for Ozone except force a tower. The scout will kill another archer. Hey Guang could be on the way out of the stable. Combito's still leaning pretty heavy onto the water here. But demos in the choke can be your saving grace. If you position your docks here, and you always have a demo waiting in the choke, the player who pushes you could be in trouble. Combito, your upgrades are in 3 seconds, dude. Don't push now. Okay, well, now his upgrades are in, and he has his own demo, and damn, dude. All right, well, so much for that. Demoing the demo and having all your fires make it through the blockade is huge. Yep, and Ozone's lost water now. That is way too many ships to deal with. Maybe Ozone can hold on this side. What you can do is you can try and reposition your fish, but all your fish have to go across the map, and you've still got some land pressure to deal with. Nice hold from Combito. Really impressive. And I think he got it right. I think balancing, being proactive to defend your fish was huge. A lot of players just try and go for Jean Swordsman, and then they have no fish, and the opponent has fish, and they have a better economy, but as we've seen, the fish can be really valuable here. Ozone's now in Castle H. I think he needs some monks now. Killing the scouts are pretty nice. A couple monks, a couple spears could be good. Remember, Combito never scouted his opponent's base until those scouts just died, because it's a nomad start, so looks bad, obviously, but he was very busy on the water. He's looking here, he's looking up here, he's looking down here. But there's 14 fires for Combito. There's only 3 for Ozone. And I actually covered some games with Ozone the other day, where I was talking about how some of the best players on Nomad maps will just find a way to snipe some fish, even though they're behind on water. That's what he needs to do. This dock, he's making a demo. Just one fire in there to snipe a couple of fishing ships would be so valuable. Ozone drops the second TC. But I think pretty soon he'll have 0 fishing ships. And second town center is coming up for Combito on the hill. So nice map control. Remember, if Combito wins this game, the playoffs are set. It'll be Ozone against Blue. And it would be Combito against... shoot, I'm kind of forgetting now, but Ozone is busy. Ozone does not see this. Yikes! I mean, he's looking so many different areas. He's looking over here. He's looked over here. Maybe looking down here. And Combito, a great game. Okay, so it would be antagonist and Combito. Man. I don't know what to think about those sets. We'll obviously have time to cast them and predict them, but best of 7s will be really fun. Because like in play all 3s, you can be kind of in control of what maps are played. And so you're never really playing a map that's completely out of your comfort zone. But in the best of 7s, obviously we see different civs, because you have to go further down the line with civilizations. Stamina becomes a factor. Tilt becomes a factor. All these things that play all 3s are very different then, so... If you asked me 6 months ago, I would have said Antagonist would have made Gold League, but he ended up falling into Silver. And then I would have said Antagonist would have maybe won his group, and now he's going to playoffs, so... Maybe I overrate Antagonist a little bit. I don't know. I feel like Combito can definitely beat Antagonist. It's very close, and I think Ozone can beat Blue as well. But I don't think Ozone can beat Combito in this game. This is just bad. You have no land control. You have no water control. You still want to try, because he wants more than anything to get the sweep here, to get revenge and to change his position in the group. But I just don't see it. You can tell he's trying to sneak to find fishing ship kills. It's looking kind of unlikely. And another confident town center in the middle for Combito. Yeah, Kashte, glad you could make it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. Welcome in. Even though this wouldn't change the group standings at all, if Combito wins this game, we obviously still have the third game. They play for the $10 for the pride and for the, the series win. Which in most tournaments, of course, is what decides the set, so... Yeah, Ozone's doing exactly what we talked about with Bad Koala the other day. Snipe the fish with random fires. That is precisely what he needs. But he also needs land now. It's like, honestly, the fishing ships feel so unimportant at this stage when it's 76 eco against 48. A nice conversion there. I'd like to see an archer switch from Combito. maybe that's not the right play, but I feel like you have a lot of wood and a lot of gold. I don't think this Civ's Cav Archers are amazing long-term, but I think you could maybe make them now. But he doesn't want that. He'll drop the barracks. Quadruple barracks as well. And he will get food for every barracks that completes, too. That feels really nice. No water control for Ozone. Does still have this dock. We'll still try to get the fires onto the fish somewhere. But Combito's got 3 relics. Starting to mix in the farms as well. 4 town centers. I mean, the only way Ozone wins this game is with a big castle in the forward position. He can take the hill, storm the hill with a big fight, and drop the castle. That's the only way he wins the game. And here he comes. He's bought a lot of the stone. That's a really tough castle to deny. And Combito doesn't have any army from the barracks yet. This would also mean the TC is a waste. The barracks are a waste for Combito. And Ozone's brought 18 vills. I mean, with monks and Latus, maybe this is doable. Yeah, Combito has to leave. He's focusing a lot on fixing his economy right now, but he did not expect that from Ozone. If only Ozone could plan on another castle. It's tough to find the stone. Yeah, right there. He's looking for that tile of stone. If he could turn this into another castle and just slowly creep in with castles, maybe he could make this happen. That was the only way he could come back. And the only way he can continue to come back is if he continues to pressure the front. If you make the castle range both town centers, it's at the bottom of the hill. Also, this castle is much safer to protect, so I really like this castle from Ozone. Also, I don't think he knew about this town center until right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't have scouting on that. Remember, the farms are a spec bug, so Ozone doesn't know about these farms. Anytime I show the farms and go Fog of War off, it will show it, but in-game, the player won't see the farms. I wish they could fix that, but that's just how it works. The other thing, too, is the building terrain change. So, like, the building terrain changing there because of buildings, that changes in Capture Age Fog of War, but in-game, the players don't see that until they scout it. Monks are really going to be the key here. Combito is still adding fish, adding more docks around the outside. Actually had a villager here. I think he spotted the villagers on stone. He knows the monks are going to be strong, so he's going for light cav. Here comes Ozone. I think just placing the castle here is your best bet. You don't want to overextend and go too far forward. Can he keep his chances alive here? Another castle. I mean, if that castle goes up, this is more economy from Combito that gets pushed back, and he will run out of like space for wood eventually. And that castle's going to go up. Combito could easily panic here, guys. He is going for a counter raid over there on the stone. But he needs to address this. And right now, all he has back here is a couple monks, too. I think if Ozone can get Atonement, convert those monks, we have a really serious comeback on our hands. Or use the light cav to snipe the monks. Oh my god. Okay, this is where Combito... The map is super confusing. You have all this water, so it boosts your score a lot. This is where he'll start to shake a little bit. Because now Ozone can get conversions. Ozone could go in with the units. Ozone does get attacked over on this side. He has to react, obviously. But if Ozone brings his latest in here, he can get non-stop kills. Look at the panic. The panic queue of the Haegwang. He's panicking. He's making as many Haegwang as he can right now. But feeding that in towards monks could be a problem. He's still getting the rage, though. Ozone can't deal with that. But at the same time, he shouldn't deal with that. He should still just keep going forward and snowballing this push. Monks are the key. Monks are the key. If you can just convert your opponent's army over and over and over again, this can swing. And there's not many light cav here right now. Still there's raids. Ozone has to garrison. Still there's the attacks on the front. Ozone needs every conversion to land. He can't lose monks. He can't lose monks. If he loses monks, it's over. He got a lot of conversions. He's getting more conversions. Monks are stupid frustrating as well, right? But just saying, there is a chance. But these monks need to back up. They need to survive, and maybe not maybe Combito's done enough. He will snipe the monks, and yeah, it's just so tough for Ozone to get the monks again after he loses the critical mass. And a great job from Combito to counterattack him too. Obviously, Combito really just needed to fix the army numbers. And now that the monks are gone, now it's going to be tough for Ozone. 60 on food for Combito, but it never feels like it because a lot of that's on fishing ships moving all around the map. Still tough, though. Like, you're still running in towards castles. Ozone will snag fletching for the castle, so the castles can do more. Still a really awkward position to play from. This is what happens on this map. If you win the water and you lose the land, you eventually just run out of wood. Run out of space, and where all your villagers are just ends up getting sniped. This is a nice find, though, from Combito. He's on the gold himself. Ozone sees that. Can he quick wall there, or is the elephant... Elephant wall! Okay. Combito does have pikemen now, though, guys. He's got pikemen. Pikemen should protect. Those villagers going down, it's not that big a deal. Ultimately, I think you need Imp, or you need to go, like, Rams and Army to push the castles back. The castles are just so annoying. You can't stabilize. Or no, you want to win a fight defensively and then counterattack. But with two castles there, you're just stuck. So it's this never-ending annoying cycle. But now he has the pikes to defend. And now he will have the He Guang to go to Ozone's base, where Ozone will not have a lot. And honestly, if I'm Combito, I just take down the TCs. It's like, come on, bro. Nice try. Nice try. Nice try. You made me sweat. But I know you've got nothing. And the town centers can go down very quickly. Nice quick walls from Ozone. Damn. Beautiful quick walls. But he can't quick wall the wood line. And then he can't push. And now Combito stalling out military production and will save for the Imperial Age. That's a great raid. I think it's a fight that he might win as well, depending on how the engagement goes. I'm pretty sure that he will win the fight against the latest there. Yeah. The little stand ground patrol, both players doing it. And we'll see what happens, but Ozone needs to win the fight, right? Yeah, Combito's played really well. Ozone has as well. This game should have been completely over. Ozone had a 1% chance, and he played it on. And he turned it into a 5% chance or a 10% chance. It's really sick. The fact that he's killed 50 villagers like this, when he's been behind... He's collected 20,000 less resources is really impressive. But he can't stop Combito if Combito gets to Imp. He still can't stop Combito here. He does trap him a little bit. But, like, just attack the town center. Who cares if you're Combito? And Combito will drop his own castle here. Will it go up, though? Combito has to react over here. Combito doesn't have the army here. He still has all of his army in Ozone's base. Castle's denied for now. This is pure chaos, man. The monks are there for Combito. More pikes will be on the way for Combito. Monks for Ozone are going to go down. Yeah, that castle goes up. That castle will go up. Ozone still has so much to look at his base. Funnily enough, you don't even need the castle to make trebs. Wu can't make regular trebs. You could just make traction trebs from a siege workshop. But the castle still protects you. And I think Imp is also the get out of my game move here, where Ozone will have to resign probably. Ozone probably keeps wanting to resign, but then he looks back and this army is still here killing Vills. And that army's killed 31 eco. 32 units. So, a lot going on, but Combito will finally clear that. Castle's up. Imp is in. And Ozone taps out and calls the GG. And that WP there, that's very fitting to the game. That was very well played from Combito. It was super clean. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the build from Ozone was perfect to pressure the fish. Combito ended up winning water anyways. And Combito, under all that pressure, ended up beating him to Castle Age. In Castle Age, he got such a massive lead. And ultimately, things got a little tough. Ozone did what he could, but that lead ended up being enough for him. Very difficult map to play. So 1-1. They'll play the third game, but this does mean the group is set in terms of position. Third game will be for Pride. So game 3, back to the colors we've had originally. We have Ozone in the blue. We have Combito in the red. The reminder is this is just a $10 game and a game for Pride, which of course is a lot. Hopefully have an excellent Age of Empires 2 game. But in the final game of group stage in silver, the positions are set in this group. Say My Name is first place. It will be Combito second in the group, and it will be Ozone third in the group regardless. So we will see Ozone and Combito again on the channel in a best of 7. Their opponents are already set. So again, on some level, if you have a really cool strategy, you probably do want to hold back on that, in theory. But maybe not. Yeah, maybe it adds to the mind games. Maybe no better way to test a strategy than to use it in the actual tournament, right? But Japanese, I mean, great fishing civ. Great naval civ, and it's coast arena, so you have the coast, you have the water. So I definitely can understand them for that reason. Georgian's not necessarily the greatest water civ, but when you start with the free mule cart, you immediately become a very competitive water civ because you can get your dock up very early. So I think both civs kind of even out in terms of their strength on water. Japanese can be a little greedier, meaning they can not defend their fish for a bit longer because of the Japanese fishing ship HP and just strength there. But I think Georgians are better overall for the arena style. But actually, you know what? The more I think about it, neither civ gets bomber cannon. Georgians want to play like knights or cav units. Japanese have faster attacking halbs. Japanese have good monks. I think it's actually a really good matchup for the Japanese. I think Georgians are a better civ to match up against other civs that can be played here. But I think specifically Japanese against Georgians, I really like the Japanese. But if you win the water, you're probably going to lose the land. Your golden stone is always on the front. So you have the potential to do a mix or lean very hard into one strength. We've seen someone lose water and instantly win land with Monks and Siege. Crazy game. And we've also seen someone like, you know, win water and then get pushed on land, or lose water, push on land. That's basically how it goes. So, Cabal, I don't think we'll be adding whales. Whales, it's too late to make any major changes to the map. But I think they're adding the ability to put whales in the game. Halfway through the season, it's probably too late for the map script change. It's already enough to have new civs added. Adding changes to the maps midway through the season would feel bad. But in future seasons or future editions where this map is used, it's definitely something I'd like to throw in there. I really like the oysters. Like, the oysters being there was a really cool addition to the game. That adds a lot to this map because you can take it with your fishing ships and with your vills, which I think is really nice. I am curious what it looks like when you go whaling in AoE2. Because, like, I asked my fiance what whale it is, and she basically said it depends. She says whatever whale they put into the game, it's not clear what whale it is. And then she was asking me, well, like, what time period is Age of Empires and all these things. And I was just like, oh, my God. Also, she has a bone to pick with the devs. And I don't think I'm going to tell them because they'll be annoyed. But basically, they're adding snakes to the game, okay? And they say the snakes have poison. And she was like, are you kidding me? She's like, it's not poison, it's venom. So then she's like, tell me about the other animals. And so we were looking through all the different animal descriptions. And she was like, oh my goodness. She was like calling them out basically on all their mistakes, all their errors. And she also said, if you would like, we can do an informative video on animals / sea creatures in AoE2. We could say the ones that are accurate. We could say the ones that aren't accurate, and I can join you for a video. And I was like, I don't know if chat's going to like that. And then I was like, oh, shoot, that's horrible. What I should have said was, yes, babe, yes, help. But I was like, I don't think chat will like that. That's what I said, and it was kind of rude. And then I had to backtrack a little bit. You guys say you're interested. I don't know how interested you really are. Really? All right, well, maybe we'll do, like, categories. We'll do categories. We have to first find out what this whaling thing is. Like, what it looks like. And then she can give us information on the proper whaling... Well, not proper whaling techniques, so you guys can go out and whale. But, you know, what they did in the past and how accurate that is. So, yeah, it could be a series. All right, but just thinking through for content, let me see. So you guys want the animal facts. If it was animal facts / her making me look like I'm uninformed and idiotic when it comes to animals myself, would that make it better or worse? I feel like you guys would probably very much like her, you know, talking some smack, right? And make me look like an idiot. Way better. Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Well, Combito's on the way up. 2 docks on the back. He's just going to add the galleys here. Notice how he doesn't mind any of the golds. And he has the villagers on the oysters. So you can do that on this map. I think eventually you're going to want villagers on golds. And the risk here, too, is if you lose water... If you lose water, your gold's supposed to be in the back. Or sorry, no, if you lose land, your gold's supposed to be in the back. And if you already take all this gold and then you get pushed on the front, it becomes a big problem. Ozone is still adding fishing ships. Ozone's going for 3 docks. Almost feels like this is the reverse of the previous game. The previous game, Combito went fast up to go for Navy. Now Ozone, he's going to go for Navy. But Ozone will do so to protect his fish and will probably be in fuelage for a little while. Combito's Georgian, so eventually there's some regen on that scout. So he will love to take the scout fight. But the regen is super slow. I'm surprised. I feel like... Well, we'll see. I'll see if I get around to doing that video idea. Very busy times for me right now, but I think people might like it. I would certainly not be the guy to be the main voice behind it because I'm admittedly very uninformed when it comes to, you know, animals and particularly like sea life, but she's a marine biologist, so she knows all that stuff. But she also, like, with the snake one, it really bothered her because she really likes snakes, so. Fletching isn't in for Combito yet, and he will have a really tough time killing the fishing ships of the Japanese without that. So I just don't think he was fully expecting exactly what was coming from Ozone. Ozone's fairly happy with things. Scout's still on patrol here. Combito, that was a test to see if he can get that snipe. Oh! Oh, but the scout goes down. Ozone gets the snipe. That is huge. Huge, I tell you, because you can go to the middle and see if Combito's doing anything now. I think Castlage will definitely be coming in at some point for Combito. He's transitioned onto berries. He's taking the sheep. He's building the market. He wants to buy his way up. He's just kind of shifted. He's like, I will play defense. I'm not going to pressure you. And I think Ozone is going to eventually understand that that's what is happening. But he's essentially bracing himself right now for the incoming attack. That's never going to happen. Is she a marine biologist like George Costanza? No. She's a little bit more official than George Costanza. I debated. She had this really cool project. And I'm really torn on it, right? Because, like, on one hand, I want to support her work. But also, on the other hand, I feel like it's probably good to respect privacy as well. And I just view it as the 1% rule, right? Like, if 1% of viewers, who I ever encounter on the internet, are problematic, that could end up being quite a few people, right? So I thought about it. She's starting to publish some papers and doing some really cool things. So, but I haven't really shared specifics of it with the masses because, you know, I just don't want things to be weird. So, but yeah, she's really smart, does good work, and hopefully she gets a really badass job after she graduates and we sort out where we're going with our lives. A bit of a weird period where we don't know exactly what the next years are going to look like because of all that. So we'll see. And Combito loses the fishing ship, but now he knows Ozone is down here. But Combito will also be in Castle Age much faster. And it still feels to me like he's just going to play full galleys. Ozone essentially has to use the minute and a half where he's on the way to Castle Age to get away from this. But he overextends a little bit. Yeah, so a bit problematic for him that he's got to be chased. But he will send the other Mastodon on the other side. I don't think Combito's expecting that. He is mining some golds, but most of his gold income is still coming from those oysters right now. And the galleys could go for the snipes. How on earth do you know George Costanza reference when you don't know anything about fields other than AoE? It's Seinfeld, dude. Of course I know Seinfeld. How little do you think of me? Of course I know Seinfeld. I'm not completely classless. But I don't know if someone who knows Seinfeld is classy, but... Oh, some good snipes over here. Honestly, if you get through here and just snipe the fishing ships, you're at least okay if you lose your fishing ships eventually. What you don't want is to miss out on these fishing ship kills right now. I would just take the fish. You could also take the war galleys and then take the fish. But there's more war galleys to come, so that's probably the safe play. His fishing ships are getting relocated to the north. Ozone needs to move the vills off the gold there and move over to the forward gold. Lots of pressure here. And he's probably going to lose water, honestly. Ozone doesn't have the numbers or upgrades yet. Castle Age timing, really good for Combito. Ozone will get his upgrades. Over here, he'll have 11 galleys versus 11. Some of Ozone's are weak. But he does have the other group coming back here. Honestly, numbers will be very close. It could still go either way. A second town center now for Combito. So it's one of those rare games where they're both doing the exact same thing. Which means it's one of those rare games on this map that might actually go on till Imp. And one player isn't really far behind. But if you've committed this much focus and upgrades and whatnot to water, you never want to stop. So it's this never-ending cycle there. And I mean, eventually they gotta go middle, but probably not the time. I don't know every Seinfeld reference, but I've watched a decent amount of Seinfeld. So every time I rent a car, I think of the episode where he sets a reservation for the car, and then there's no car there. That's always in the back of my mind. I just don't trust him. I've never actually had any instances where the car's not there. But he has the reservation for the car, and then he shows up, and they're like, "Sir, we don't have your car." He's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "We don't have the car for your reservation." He's like, "But I reserved it." Is that not the point of the reservation? To reserve the car? He's like, "But sir, that's not the way it works." I don't think you understand. It's a reservation. Yeah. Always think of that. Ballistics would make sense with this much Navy. Still haven't seen anything yet. We do have relics starting to get picked up from Ozone. I think if Ozone were to pivot into a siege monk push right now, it could be really solid, but he's building the outpost. Yeah, okay, he sees the town center at least. That's a nice find. He also knows about the church, so he knows that Combito will probably add monks. He still does have his starting scout. But Combito is transitioned into the town centers a lot faster than his opponent here. Ozone deletes. Scout should be coming out next, and Combito all comes back to the scout fight. That should be a dead monk. Oh, the church, though. Ooh, church saves the day. Oh, that's so annoying for Ozone. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm talking about the game, but I hate the churches. I hate them. I know they're nerfing them. I agree with the nerfs. I just hate them. I just don't like them. That's good play from Combito to make it work, though. 2 monks now. So we could see this turn into a bit of a monk war with atonement, maybe. Oh, conversion stopped. So if it has to restart, the monk could die. And then he could back off. Nice play from Ozone. Navy's still patrolling in the north, 17. And then down here we've got 25. Ah, but Ozone came through and sniped some fish, didn't he? Yeah. Ozone has been keeping him on the move. Scout goes in again. Delete that, Ozone. Delete that. You always delete that. That's conversion. See, back in the day, guys, there was more conversion variance, and then a bunch of people complained massively about the variance. But now, that's predictable. That should always be a delete. Realistically, I think Ozone should always know that now. Whereas you take that chance a couple years ago. And now he can't move out into the middle. And I think that scout being there, I mean, obviously he could maybe convert it back, but that makes life a little difficult. And he's still not ahead in eco. There's still variance with conversions, but it's just not nearly as severe. But yeah, if you were to make it so the conversion time was the exact same every single time, you would just see people get the perfect deletes. They'd understand when conversions would come in, and monks would just be... Monks would be kind of brutal to balance. So I like what they've done in the end. Still feel like, I mean, there's no fishing benefit for Combito now. I don't think water is of importance to him. I think he should just really focus on the middle. He's got 3 relics, about to be 4, 3 TCs. None of his eco is set up near the shoreline, too, which is really well thought out. A lot of people would have town centered there. And Ozone has really leaned into the water. He has benefited with the 8 fishing ships, I suppose. But this is about to be an arena game. Combito will just leave. Why not? I love this. You have no fish to protect. You've okay, these villagers don't love this. You do actually have some eco here to protect. But yeah, go snipe the fishing ships from Ozone. The first thing Ozone's going to do when he wins water is add fish. I'm keeping a very close eye on the middle with the scout that he converted and outposts. And Ozone will just slowly take down the docks, but Combito doesn't need them. Doesn't need them whatsoever. Ozone is going triple range. Feels like cav archers now. I don't hate it. Japanese cav archers are strong, and you already have the ranged upgrade, so it's a pretty easy switch to make. And he obviously needs land control. The fish for Ozone are moving this way. Ozone is realizing now that the galleys are coming this way to snipe his fish. But the wood line's a problem. Combito's TC here and taking the wood here is a really specific detail that ends up being really strong. The Ozone kind of has to do the same thing, but he didn't think about it. The war galleys are still killing more. I don't know. I'm liking Combito's position here. It's really going to come down to if Ozone can get the castle up. Oof, which he... Ooh, man. You know what? I think he can. He's got 17 on stone. He's got double mangonel. He's got cav archers through the middle. He can come back and defend his fish. If he gets the castle there as well, it'll range 2 town centers. I think Combito has been a little too focused on water, and he didn't expect this army from Ozone. Wow. He definitely has the worst economy right now, Ozone, but that is a... Oh, God. This is a big moment. Ozone's castle is likely going up. The castle for Combito, he has more villagers building. The counter castle is not a bad play. But there's cav archers here and there's siege. Honestly, though, well played from Combito. He'll counter castle it. It's still a nightmare. Because the mangonels can still sit on the other side and take down the town center. This castle still ranges the other town center and everything around it. Ozone still has really good map control. And also, Ozone's going to win water now. So he will add more fish, and he's adding more docks to still fish out there. And who knows, maybe the patrols on the outside do something eventually. Combito will add rams from the back siege workshop, and he's trying to mass petards for the castle. But man, Ozone wins this game, I think, if he holds the rest of the map. If he holds the rest of the map, it's game over. He already has this position. He needs to use the mobility of the cav archers, but Combito has a moment here. He can see the whole map with the outposts, and he's expanding with town centers, and he's dropping towers there. So, still curious on where he's going to go. Imp? I think Imp can change this game, but yeah, we have a pause. Keep in mind that Ozone's military, a lot of that's on water, which doesn't immediately change the game, so... I think this game changes a lot if Ozone doesn't keep his Cav archers there. Combito says dropped 2 minutes. Insane. Okay, so he froze up there. I think Ozone will come again with another castle. Yep, here come the Vills. Which town center will Combito go imp in? Oh, he doesn't go imp, actually. He queues up 13 Vills. Okay, I mean, that's a problem then. The CA mass is an issue. The monks will need their conversions. Most of the monks will go down. Here comes Ozone. He'll take down the tower. He takes down the monks. If he follows this up with a castle, that's a lot of economy exposed for Combito. And he's still surrounded by a castle over there. Ozone is going to drop a castle. There. Which is underneath a current tower foundation and underneath a new tower foundation. It has to go up. He lost a lot of Cav archers, but he still has the siege, and Combito has to back away. Yes, that's the play for Combito. That's what I thought he was going to do. You see, he just canceled all of his Vills, and it's like, oh yeah, imp. That's the way to save the game. He's on the way up. I mean, I think now Ozone needs Rams. It's such an interesting map. But yeah, if the castle's gone, imp gives no benefit to Combito because he can't make trebs. Combito still doesn't really have much of an army. I think he needs some decisions there. I don't hate making your own Cav archers. They are worse than Japanese Cav archers, but at least it's something. Ozone will want imp himself. Balancing out his resources a little bit. Still adding the fish. Would love to see his Cav archers actually move in underneath the TC. There's no repairs there. But had he done that, we have 2 preemptive towers from Combito. Okay, well played. Yeah, Ozone's castle is attacking the wall. So he clicked the wall, and after you do that, it'll always auto-attack other wall pieces, which is really bad for him. So he's lost 1,500 HP, and Combito's only lost 10 HP. Who wins? Chat? Who wins? Let's not forget, Combito is 5 relics. He has enough gold for now. He has towers. He has a lot of farms. I mean, it can go either way, but I think I would say Combito. I think being imp faster changes a lot here. And having the guard towers means that mangonels can't push. The Cav archers can't push. And Ozone will need to back up. Would be so cool, though, to see cannon galleons on the outside. If you could get cannon galleons on the outside, you could really constrict the opponent. Even just these war galleys eventually making it down here would deny woodlines, right? Interesting, we're seeing some fires being added by Ozone. I don't know why. I think maybe he's worried about his opponent coming back on the water or something. I think Ozone needs to plan for life without the north middle area. You're always going to lose this position. So just plan to have all the eco down here. There's still golden stone around down there. You got to keep this castle in the south up at least. Not in love with that castle. But I don't hate it either because he's constricting Combito. This castle blocks it off. And if he can hold this position, which is a bit further back, maybe that's realistic. Maybe he can win the Trebor. Ah, there's the docks from Combito. Okay. Did Ozone see that at all? Blacksmith upgrades just come in for Combito. Yeah, Ozone didn't see that. I don't know, though. Like, what? I guess Ozone has some eco on water. I'm not sure I'm fully in love with trying to retake water here. But I just haven't seen a game that's been quite like this yet. It's such a unique map. It could be really good. Ozone dropping another castle, but where is Trebs? So I didn't like this castle. It's going to immediately be under pressure. And now you'll double down on it, and you'll repair that to keep the castle up, which is more stone that you won't have for future castles. That's it. Probably a regrettable castle. And there are fires down here for Ozone. But it's going to be fast fire for Combito on the outside. I think this is the rest of his gold. I don't think he has a lot left. It says 4K there, but that's some of that, 2,400 of that is right below it. And then I guess he has this other tile. About like maybe 2,000 to 3,000 gold left. I think Ozone saw Fast Fire, so he will go for his own Fast Fire. He could end up losing water here. Without Galleon, you're going to have some real problems. And wow, Ozone just gives up basically and clicks it to the corner. His other Fast Fires will come in this direction. 2K gold from Combito from the relics. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's painful. I think he knows his fishing economy's up there or something. And he also has fires coming from this direction, so he wants to meet up. But the Galleons might not even survive to become Galleons. And Combito's holding. He's out-trebbing the Japanese. Those 5 trebs are clutch. No Japanese treb upgrades for Ozone, and he doesn't have the numbers. Man, both are such good players. Both players could do well in gold. And both players could make it to gold. Because they will both be in the playoffs, but the competition's high, man. I think the fact that Combito has been able to push back so convincingly and have such a big skirm count is incredible. Like, how do you get double castle dropped and stay chill and get this much farming eco when you also can't be anywhere near the shoreline the entire game? He's been squished into this tiny little nugget of space and has somehow made the most of it. Navy backs off here for Ozone. But yeah, he's struggling. He queued up a couple demos somewhere. Still really needs more trebuchets, or he needs the mangonels to land some shots. Onager. I like Onager here. Because the Romans don't get bomb... Or the Romans. Well, it's true. The Romans don't get bomber cannons, but neither do the Georgians. But is it too little too late? Because the second you don't have the map control anymore, the second you lose momentum, your opponent can just make the switch. And already we see Manaspa coming out, and Manaspa would just snipe any Onagers. Ozone's still hoping to recover on water. Who cares? It's all about lands. Obviously, water matters a little bit. But the land army difference is significant right now. And Manaspa are the perfect siege snipers. Okay, Onager will be in 1 second. Watch Combito micro this, and it won't even make a difference. This is why people don't go for Onager at a high level. Because the micro is too good, and it's too expensive of a tech, and honestly, even that was impressive. The Trebs take down another castle. The Trebs will move immediately to this castle, and Combito... All right, not really selling us on the micro, maybe, but he has the skirmishers to lose. He has the Trebs there. Ozone letting this one slip away. But Combito's economy, despite not having fish, despite getting double castle dropped, was just unbelievable here. I think the game has slipped away from Ozone. There's nothing you can do now. Even if you land a big Onager shot, you don't have the army or the castles to support. So, you get rid of the skirms, and still the Manaspa are there. Still the Manaspa can do big things. The Onagers are doing damage. I take back what I said. Maybe we need to see Onager more at a high level. Apparently it works. But, I mean, even still, it's a symptom of a bigger issue that he didn't have the map control. The fact that he had to go for Onager was mainly because he was forced to. Yeah, Cav Archer won't work anymore against the skirms. Navy as well could even go Combito's way, and Combito wins 2-1. Great game. If you just look back to early Castle Age, Combito, he added the town centers really early, and he transitioned into that, and he got the relics very, very early. All that stuff bailed him out. The food in Gold Eco was ridiculous considering his circumstances. The fact that he had none of the middle gold control and still had more gold. The fact that he had no fishing ships and still had more food is just because he got the town centers rolling super fast. But again, look at how like awkwardly condensed his eco had to be. That's tough. You can't be too close this way. You can't be too close this way or anywhere on the shoreline. And then you can't be beyond your walls. So for a period there, he's literally using every inch of space that he had. Like, look at this. It's like before he went back on water here. Where can he actually be where he isn't already? Nowhere. Like, I don't think I appreciated that in the moment. He can't go any further this way. He's dead. He can't go any further into the middle. He's dead. He can't go any further here. He can't go any further on the outside. It's like he truly filled every little nook and cranny with farms and production buildings, and then was able to work his way out from the space deficit. So nice stuff from Combito. Fun series. Fun series. All right. So we now know what the silver playoffs are going to look like, chat. And I'll pull up the brackets now. Well, actually, let's just overview the groups. Actually, I think that's probably the better way to do it. I just saw Liquipedia get refreshed. Oh man, Liquipedia editors, let's go. Thank you so much. It's so nice. I almost had another program. We almost worked on another program so we could have to update it on our side, but what a nightmare that would have been. All right. So, in Group A of Titans League Silver, we've got Niaz winning. He came in the final moments, guys. The final week. He was behind the entire time. In the final round, he won 3-0 over Antagonist, and Target beat Blue 2-1. It was drama. It was intrigue. Niaz is going to gold for the next season. Blue and Antagonist will be playoffs. Target is in 4th place. Target's going to be back in silver next time. That's all 4th means. And then Goku and Babaram are out with 5 and 4 wins. In Group B, also was very interesting. I don't think this is fully updated yet, right? This isn't fully updated yet. I believe he actually ends with 11 wins. If I see a pop-up that this is updated, I'll update it. But I believe he ends with 11 wins after that. And he is tied with Say My Name, but Say My Name wins the tiebreak. The first tiebreak is set wins. And then the second tiebreak is head-to-head. So he would have won actually in both categories. So Say My Name goes back to gold. Congrats to him. Combito and Ozone will fall into 2nd and 3rd place and go into playoffs. Group C, we had a triple tie for 10. Do you know how rare that is? Maybe it's happened once. I don't think so, though. Triple tie for 10. I think it could have happened last year in Platinum or something. So the first tiebreak is set wins. So Cosmonaut had more set wins. So Cosmonaut wins the tiebreak. He gets 1st place. And then when Gabby and Husiel played, Husiel beat Gabby. So while they're tied on set wins, Husiel had won the head-to-head there. And that's how things shape up. Monos will be back in silver the next season. Thunderbolt and Lamo are relegated. We'll show the playoff bracket for Husiel and Gabby in a second. And in this group, it went 11, 10, and 9. Stark winning the group with 11 wins. He will be back in gold. Bad Koala and Dennis go into the playoffs with 10 and 9 wins, respectively. And then Nahuel survives barely. His last round, he got swept. He got stomped. But Moray, who was already down, beat Deeker 2-1 to keep him alive. If Deeker got one more win, Deeker would have beat Nahuel in the tiebreak and stayed alive. I don't know how many silver players are watching right now, but to my silver bros, amazing season. It's really motivating to watch you guys play. Really motivating to see the training pay off. I know how seriously you take it. I was so happy to expand silver into $10,000. You have no idea how important that was to me because you guys really take the moment seriously. And I feel really respected by the amount of effort and interest that you guys all put into it, okay? Very easy to take events for granted. It happens a lot at the higher levels for players who have events all the time. But to the silver players, seriously, thank you. Thank you. It was so fun to watch. Okay, it's not updated yet, but we know. So for the playoffs, it'll be Blue versus Ozone, best of 7. Winner moves into gold. It'll then be Combito versus Antagonist, best of 7, same deal. Husiel versus Dennis, and then Bad Koala versus Gabby. And honestly, I don't think there is a single strong favorite in any set. Can you guys say one? I have no clue, dude. I have no clue. I think they were all very solid players in the group stage. You guys are saying Gabby's a solid favorite. I think Gabby's the most well-known. I don't know if Gabby's a solid favorite over Bad Koala. They both do crazy stuff. That is must-watch AoE too. But Bad Koala's been around a super long time, dude. And Bad Koala just does not give a crap. Like, Bad Koala, If he shows up playing his best, he can be any of the names here. So, I don't know. Then, like, antagonist, I don't know if he's a big favorite over Combito. Maybe Blue's a little favorite over Ozone. It's tough, man. I think all these sets, it's hard to pick a favorite, which tells me it's must-watch AoE. So I'm excited.